Welcome to video number 2 of our mentorship video series. In our first video, we looked at what mentorship is, and in this, our second video, we are going to look at the question of how we can prepare to be mentored. Now, mentorship opportunities can be all around us, but are we ready for them? To be ready, there are 3 things that we need to do, and these are the 3 topics that we will discuss in today's video. First, we need to know ourselves and be clear on what we are seeking for in mentorship. Number 2, we need to dispel some common myths about mentorship. And number 3, we need to know our responsibilities as mentees. First off, the most important thing to realize is that we as trainees need to take ownership of getting the mentorship we need and managing established relationships. Mentors will not go out looking for us, and only we know best what our current mentorship needs are. In other words, mentees need to be the main driver of any mentoring relationship from start to finish. We need to be very clear in communicating our needs, specific questions, and goals to our mentors. So, before we begin to look for a mentor, there are several key questions we must answer for ourselves to clarify our expectations for mentorship. First of all, what are the key areas for which you are seeking mentorship? Are there specific skills that you want to develop? Are you particularly looking for psychosocial support to learn about work-life balance or how to handle different transitions in your training pathway? Or are you perhaps looking more for professional development, looking for help with networking or navigating your academic institution, or just career guidance in general? Or perhaps you are looking for research development, looking for your mentor to fill in gaps in knowledge, or helping you out with a scholarship application or giving advice on applying to grants. A second key question to ask is, what are the most critical concerns that you have at your current stage of training? Another thing to ask ourselves before we look for a mentor are, what are our goals for the next 3 months, for the next year, for the next 5 years? Equally important is to understand your own personal working style. What do you know about yourself from previous mentorship relationships? Do you tend to be a person that flourishes under a more structured and directive mentor, or do you need mentors that are a bit more hands-off and more gentle? Other personal preferences to take into consideration are things like gender, race, or personality, field of expertise, or even work habits. What is your picture of your ideal mentor? Having this in mind will help greatly as you begin your search for a mentor. Now, the Rackham Graduate School at the University of Michigan has a great worksheet for mentee expectations with more details that can be found at the link in the video description below. I strongly recommend that you check it out. Clarifying our expectations for ourselves first will greatly help us find mentors that fit our needs, and when we meet them, to be able to explain to them what it is we're looking from them. Now, before we move on, there are a couple of myths about mentorship that we need to let go of. Now, the stereotypical view of mentorship is that it is a dyad. In other words, that it's only a one-on-one relationship. And along with this come 3 common assumptions. First of all is that all our mentorship needs will be found in one person. Second, that you can only have one mentor at a time. And third, that mentoring relationships must be long-lasting to be helpful. But realistically, it's unlikely that you will find one mentor who can meet all of your needs. Nor is it necessary that we have one mentor throughout all our training. We should look instead to developing a portfolio or a team of mentors, each one meeting a specific mentorship need at different times. For example, we may have one mentor for clinical skills enhancement, another for guidance on research development, and yet another on work-life balance issues. Moreover, the members of our mentorship team may come from different stages of their career, from peers to junior faculty and senior faculty. In summary, a more realistic view of mentorship involves a team of mentors that we go to for mentorship in different areas. And the composition of this team will probably change over time as we transition through the different stages of our training and career. Finally, as the primary driver or manager of any mentorship relationship, a mentee has at least 3 basic responsibilities. First, we need to have a working plan. We need to develop a plan with our short-term and long-term goals and a timeline of when we would like to achieve them. We ought to bring this to our mentors and discuss this with them. Number 2, a mentee has the responsibility to manage each meeting. First, we need to contact our mentors at an agreed upon interval to schedule meetings and to, of course, show up on time. Equally important is the preparation of an agenda of questions or discussion items for each meeting. It helps a lot to prioritize them, so if there isn't enough time to go through all of the issues, at least you'll have discussed the most important ones right at the beginning. And at the end of the meeting, it's important to recap together with your mentor the main points that you have reached, what it is you will do for the next time, and also what your mentor has agreed to do to help you. This can be done verbally at the end, or you can send an email after the meeting. Third, as mentees, we need to actively listen and follow through. We need to follow up on the suggestions given by our mentors and let them know what we thought about them after trying them out. So, to summarize, to be ready to benefit from the various mentorship relationships that are out there, we must first be very clear what we are seeking for from a mentor. Second, we need to recognize that we will often need to develop a dynamic portfolio of mentors, rather than looking for just one person to meet all of our needs. And finally, we need to take responsibility as the primary driver of any mentorship relationship. Now, once you know what you're looking for, how do you go about finding a willing mentor? Our next video will provide a few tips and help you step into the shoes of a potential mentor. Thank you, and see you next time.